So for step 37, attaching the body mount units, well, you can see here that we've got to place the one that we built for the front onto the front, the one we built for the rear onto the rear. And you can see that it's only held in by 2 screws, and then we've got the ball connectors that we have to attach. And then the front, same thing, we've got to attach it with 2 screws, and then there's the ball connectors that will attach it to the steering arms. And then, of course, lastly, we actually have our main steering arm coming off the servo, which will attach to the steering mechanism. So there's only 4 screws, so it won't take long to do. So we'll set this up and we'll put it together. So it's interesting here, it says attach body mount with engine head design to front. So that's what that is. I wondered what this shaping was. That's supposed to look like it's the engine, which is interesting. So we'll work on that one first. So we have to attach it, and you can see that there are 2 notches right there, and they are right here on the car. But this has to slide under and fit into the front as well, so that makes it secure. So from that point on, all we need to do is screw these into place with the 2 screws. And it's interesting that the entire thing is only held on by the 2 screws. You'd think there'd be more. Okay, that one's done. And that's done, because this is going into hard plastic, so you're going to know when you're at the end. So there is our front body mount unit on, and then of course we're going to need to attach those to the wheels, but I'm going to leave that until we've got the rear one on. So as you can see, that needs to sit like that. So grab our screws. So this, again, same sort of idea. When it goes on and it'll fit onto there, it's also sort of sliding this front piece into here. If I can get those out of the way. There we go. So you can see how it sits under a lip, and then this gets screwed down right there. So I'm just going to start it off first for now, get both screws in. And again, you're going to know when you're at the end because it's going into hard plastic, so that the screws will just stop. No worries about stripping anything out. All right, there we go. So those are in, and then of course we've got these, which will end up needing to be snapped into place. Now I'm going to probably move the motor wires out of the way a bit more, but those will end up being snapped into place for the rear tires. Excellent. So I'll just move the wires out of the way, and then we'll start snapping on the ball connectors. Okay, so I moved these out of the way a little bit more. I pushed the yellow wire, the bracket that's on there, out of the way, so they're out of the way altogether. So now let's snap these ball connectors onto the back end here. So we'll grab our pliers here, and this one will go on just like that. There we go. Kind of a cool design. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Grab that and put that on there. There we go. Very cool. So there are the back ones in place. Very cool. So now the tires aren't moving around. It's solid. And now we can do the same thing with the front. So we'll snap these guys on. There's one and goes there. There's one. And same again for the other side. In fact, we'll do it this way. And there we go. So there is the steering mechanism in place. So the arm that's going to come off the servo is going to move that around to do the steering. And it's pretty smooth because of the ball bearings that we put in there. Very cool. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we've got to get this onto the car as well. So for this, same thing, we're going to need to snap this on, and maybe I'll do it this way. There we go. There's that arm on. And the last thing we're going to do here is get it onto the rack itself. And I think we can do it just like that. There we go. So there is the steering arm in place. Very, very cool. So it's an interesting design. There is something I'm still trying to figure out, and I mean, I understand the whole slop thing, and at first I wasn't sure, but the one thing that is interesting is because this is designed to go front and back, and you know, you can make it in whatever configuration. Normally your rear end is solid, no play, whereas with this you can see that there is play, and it's partly because of the way that these wheels are attached. So there is a bit more movement maybe than what you would normally see, but I'll be doing a running test to see what I think to it afterwards. But I mean, typically on your drive wheels there's not going to be much play, and with this, I mean, you can see there's definitely play. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I mean, let's wait and see when I do the road test, but it is kind of odd to have that much play in the back end. And so, you know, the drama that is all about this BT-01 slop may be valid. But again, it could be just the design, because this is, you know, it can be built in multiple configurations. But that is kind of weird. I don't know, I guess we'll see. So that is the end of step 37. So the car is pretty much built. So now we're going to move on to 38 and install the battery pack, and you can see it's also putting on the aerial.